The moment you literally get dropped into Hot Wheels style tarmac spaghetti, you realise we're not playing a regular driving game here. If you played any previous Trackmania title by Nadeo, you should already expect plenty of mania.
Trackmania.
Trackmania Turbo is a self-styled arcade racer with 200 short tracks at its core. The single-player mode has you tackle them in a quick-fire time attack format. The tracks are unlocked in batches and gradually get more ridiculous, therefore more difficult. There are 4 specific track types, which you have to use the designated car for, as each car is suited to the specific track type. This is the drifty car for the drifty circuits, the off-road car for off-road, obviously, the magnetic wheeled scale-electric car for when the track has completely had enough of gravity, and the formula car, because, well, it's faster, isn't it? With the time attack format, the only approach is to go hell for leather, which can involve relentless attempts to the point where the track is ingrained on your brain. This is because any little mistake can knock your car grossly off course. For example, if you take a jump just slightly off angle, you either watch your car slowly skewing into an awkward landing position and hope that somehow you can correct the inevitable bouncing mess, or you could just chalk it up as another failed attempt and press the quick restart button, which is probably the most important feature in this game. Although, it's not too difficult to get a gold medal time. The real contest and perfectionism comes when you consider the leaderboard aspect of the game. The leaderboards narrow from a global position to a local ranking. This adds to the challenge, as I found myself constantly trying to get into the top 10 fastest times in the northeast, and it is satisfying to see your time jump up the leaderboards. You can also see your friends' personal best times and load their ghost to race against. Even though you bested the gold medal time by 3 seconds ages ago, you still find yourself trying to beat their time. The friendly ghost taunts you as you try to shave 0.2 of a second in some kind of nitrous-fueled haunted steeplechase. Local multiplayer involves your usual modes, like split screen and hot seat, but then there's something a bit different. 1 car, 2 drivers mode. One player controls the steering, and the other player controls the throttle and brakes. This mode is initially hilarious as you bumble around the track, but quickly becomes massively frustrating to the point of Monopoly tier friendship endangerment. Online multiplayer racing is almost always a first corner pile-up, followed by swearing and everyone quitting. Because of this, Nadeo wisely disabled player collision, especially as multiplayer can involve up to 100 players. Just look at this madness. You could say having no player collision only gives the illusion of multiplayer racing, which is somewhat true, but on these tracks with so many players it just wouldn't work. Perhaps a game mode with up to 4 players could work with collision enabled. Trackmania has a track builder feature, which means thousands of tracks will be created and published by users. But with user created content, be prepared to have to sift through the dross in order to find the better tracks. Thankfully though, there is a vote ranking system to provide at least some kind of moderation. About the track building itself, you think racing in this game can get frustrating. Using a controller to access multiple wheel menus and arrange hundreds of assets is a test of patience. This feature is without a doubt better suited to PC, but if you're willing to stick at it and persevere, it's possible to make tracks just as crazy as the developer ones. There is an element of vehicle customization in Trackmania, but nothing to get too excited about, just your typical selection of paints, flags, numbers and all that. Another little gripe is that the in-race music restarts every time you quick restart, so get ready to hear the first 10 seconds of all the tracks. Or just turn it off and play your own music. And speaking of turning things off, there's this guy.
Be careful, easy on the paintwork. I can drive any slower. What are you doing? Sweet. What are you doing? Whoa!
He lasted about 5 races before having to be turned off. Unfortunately though, there's something that you can't turn off. This game is published by Ubisoft, so at every opportunity it will nag you to sign up to Uplay and Ubisoft Club, like EA did with Battlefront. I don't care. Remember when you could just play a game and not be pestered for your inside leg measurement? Nevertheless, Nadeo have made a game that doesn't let you slow down for a second. It will drain you and mould you into a perfectionist. You need the patience to gradually improve, and you will, as the leaderboards draw you into sessioning duels with ghosts over fractions of a second. Could do with an extra game mode or two so you're not always ghost busting cars, and maybe include more vehicles, but overall the idea is simple, delivered well, and promises to expand.